Hello, everyone, and welcome. I pray that you are having a wonderful Thursday evening. Now, this is our first time going live here on YouTube, and I have some notes on my phone. So, if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking for. But I just wanted to say this is our first YouTube video, well, other than our introduction video. And I just want to take a moment to welcome everyone to this video. I know you may be here or you may catch the replay. Whatever the case is, please, if you're here catching the replay, leave me a comment. Let me know where you're from, where you're watching me from, and also the hashtag replay. Play in the comments section as well, so I can go ahead and give you a shout out, just even for coming and just even for joining me. So, for those who might not know, let me tell you a little bit about myself. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. We have apparently a storm or uh, a lot of showers going through today. But anyway, like I was saying, my name is Jacinta Martin. I'm the creator of the blog Fruitful Gems and a podcast called Polished Gems. I'm also a two-time author and a real estate agent in the state of Georgia. And also, guys, this new YouTube channel for Fruitful Gems. I'm super excited to just share with you all that this is what we have going on and that this is a new thing that we're going to start doing weekly. But I want to jump into and not take up too much time. Tonight, what I plan on sharing is also we've gotten the internet connection is unfortunately a little affected by the weather. But guys, this message and this word is going to go forth. So as I said, my name is Jacinta Martin. I am the creator of a blog called Fruitful Gems and even a creator of our podcast called Polished Gems. And want to welcome you to this YouTube channel. We'll be talking about what's called solitaire gems. Now, the reason why it's called that is because we'll be sharing one gem with you weekly. So I'm super excited for you guys to come back, to come be a part of this, to come even so guys, what I do, and again, welcome to Solitaire Gems. What I do is actually teach people build their lives from pain and trauma with using the nine fruits of God's spirit. And I do that is because that's what God did for me. A really tough season and a really tough situation in my life. I actually have been through many ups and downs, many seasons of good, many seasons of bad. And it was in the bad seasons that I experienced so much loss, so much pain. Promised me this one. He said, I'm going to rebuild you with the fruit. Little did I know when we had that conversation, little did I know what he meant. Little did I know how he was going to do it. And I did know that I'd be taking time to blog, to share, to talk about how he did it for me, and even share with other people how he can do it for you. So, guys, that's definitely what we're going to be talking about. But I also wanted to let you know that when I started blogging back in 2016, and my blog was actually named something else. It was named From Faith to Faith. What is super interesting about that is it all started with a conversation from my daughter about how could she get to know God. So when she asked me that, that's how this conversation started. That's how blogging started, and even my total writing journey. It was in that time that I was able to definitely um, see that I could learn how to go with God, walk with God from faith to faith. And for those who don't know about me, I have a prodigal daughter experience, which I talk about in my latest book called The Fragmented Soul. But I also, out of that writing journey, was able, state of Georgia here. But what I want you to do is not only in the comments section, let me know where you're from. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay so I can shout you out. But one thing that I wanted to do was this. I wanted to ask a question that I'm just curious. Let me know in the section the answer, how you would answer this question is, are you at the starting process of entering season? I'm going to ask that again. Are you currently at the starting process of entering a new season? Why? that? I ask that because a lot of times when we're entering new seasons, I'm gonna share one gem of how you can um, enter your new season and know where to really start. Right. What I also want you to do for me, those who tune in, whether you're watching live with me or replay, what I want you to do is to join up, be a part of the Fruitful Gems family to get more gems like this, because we have blogs for days, we even have podcast content for days, and it's super helpful if you love reading or even listening to conversations. Go ahead to www.fruitfulgems.com and connect with us, become a part of our family. When you do so, we even have a free guide called Discovering Your Worth, and it connects the nine fruits of God's Spirit as well. So, guys, I placed that link below as you see it scrolling as well. So, please feel free to go invite a friend to check it out. Now, like I said, I don't want to hold you all night. Let's actually jump into our gem that I wanted to share with you tonight on Solitaire Gems. Now, here's the deal. Many of us have heard many people in the Christian community, especially lately, say that we're entering a new season, that God's doing a new thing, right? And that sounds well and good. But I don't know if you, like me, before, sometimes that change or big change can cause me to get a little anxious and a little fearful. Even though I worked really hard with God to overcome fear and overcome anxiousness and anxiety, there are times I have to remind myself. There are times that I have to say, hey, I will not be anxious for nothing, right? And that God hasn't given me a spirit of fear. Like I have to talk to myself using the Bible to help reaffirm what God has said about me, what God has said I'm supposed to be, what God has said I'm supposed to do, and all of that, right? But what I wanted to tell you is what causes those feelings of anxiety and even fear at times for me is when I don't understand the plan. I am a planner by nature. I like to know where I'm going or what I'm doing. I'll give you a prime example. Even when God gives me a simple instruction, it could be to write a book, or even I'll give you even one more simpler, go to a certain location. Well, I'm that type of person who, if God says go to a certain location or place, I'll use Georgia, where I live, for example. I like to know, I pre plan. Like the night before, I would be on my GPS. I would be looking up the address. I would see how long it takes me to get there. If God is asking me to also, as a mama too, take my kids, I like to know how long we're going to be at that location. Do I need to have? I like to know the details. I like to know the plan, if you will, right? I like to know more information. But here's what I've learned: following God is not always like that. Why do I say that? I'll give you an example. When God wants us to go into a new season or a new expansion or into new territory, there's not always a blueprint that we can follow, right? For instance, there might be other people who've done it before, who've done what you've been asked to do before. And let me make this more concrete. When I was asked to write by God my novel, The Fragmented Soul, plenty of people have written novels. There are plenty of authors out there who paved the way for different types of novels. I mean, I really could have looked at household names even in the Christian community who've gone on to write not just devotionals but novels and other works as well, literary works as well. So I could have looked to them, but what God wanted me to do was to pray into how He wanted me to write my book, right? So, in prayer and asking, I was able to get more context. I was able to get more of what God wanted me to have. So, this is this is what keeps me now from freaking out as much as I used to. I've learned that I can go to God and I can ask follow up questions. I've learned I can dive a little deeper by sitting at his feet in prayer to do, to understand more, to understand what he's calling me to do, kind of how to do it, so that the planner in me, I like to be able to control things so that they don't go wrong, or pre-plan so that they don't go wrong. And God in this season, in this new season, has been stripping some of that away from me, right? Because that's my go to. My go to is, if I dot every I, if I cross every T, nothing's gonna go wrong. I can muster through it, and I'll be fine, right? A lot of times this is what stops us, right? It causes stagnation. It causes us not to move. I even give you an example. Earlier today, I was speaking about my next book I'm supposed to write. And in speaking about my book, I realized what was funny about talking about it was, I said, well, if I have no plan, I just kind of sit still because I feel like I'm paddling nowhere, and I'm not about to paddle in a circle. It is super funny to me that I am I'm unable to sometimes move forward with the plans that God has, because the wants to almost be at a place of when entering season. Change and things of that nature is uncomfortable. So when I'm in a space of being uncomfortable, a lot of times it is difficult for me to wrap my mind around God's truly got me, even in the midst of a new season. And here's what's crazy. I've walked with God even from a child. Had a prodigal daughter experience. All right. Hey, I think I'm back again. I do. Yeah, I think I am back here. All right. Hey. Okay, perfect. Sorry. So, guys, what I wanted to share tonight was the one gem, and here it is. The one gem that I want to share is this: you must be willing to follow God even when you don't fully understand. That one more time. And I apologize for all the technical difficulties tonight. Sometimes it's like that, and you still have to press through. But the one gem that I tonight is, you must be willing to follow God even when you don't fully understand. Here's why. It says in Matthew 6:24 through 25, that it says, then Jesus said to his disciples, if anyone wishes to follow me as my disciple, he must deny himself, set aside selfish interests, and take up his cross, expressing a willingness to endure whatever may come, and follow me, believing in me, conforming to my example in living, and if need be, suffering or perhaps dying because of. For whoever wishes to save his life in this world will eventually lose it through death. But whoever loses his life in this world for my sake will find it. Life with Jesus for all eternity. How do we do this? How do we follow when we don't understand? Right? There's a beautiful hymn says, all to Jesus I surrender, all to him I freely give. I will ever love and trust him, in his presence daily live. I surrender all to thee, my blessed Savior. I surrender all. When I tell you, it is that hymn explains how we follow God. We have to surrender. So even with me, when it comes to change, even the planner that is inside of me, I have to lay that down, and I have to follow and surrender to God, even when I don't fully understand. Now, let's look at one thing. Let's look at what it means to surrender. See, Merriam Webster's dictionary defines surrender as giving control or use of something to someone else. So when we do that, when we allow God to be Lord in our lives, to help us through different situations to help us rebuild or go through a new season, or even start a new season and continue through that new season to so where we're being sustained, right? Surrender, we got to give up our control. As I told you earlier, that me being a with me wanting certain things to pan out the way I want them to, that's not always the case. Sometimes the outcome is totally different than what I even thought, imagined, or even expected. Like even tonight, I give you tonight as a prime example. Tonight, I expected this evening to go so differently, but it didn't. What I realized from God, the instruction from God was to go live. So even in that, wanting all my technology to work, wanting everything to be perfect, that has been what I desired. Right? I tested out everything. I prepped and made sure everything was good before it was even time to get on. But let me tell you, I had to press through the and keep calm on the other side of it. A lot of times, what is God asking you to do, right? What is He asking you or instructing you to do in your new season? Something that you've never maybe done before. You don't have all the answers, and that's okay. I'm here to tell you that's okay. I'm here to tell you it's okay that you're not sure. It's okay that you're scared. I'll even be real, real honest with you. Earlier today, I was in the bed actually battling um, my fear and anxiety about going live, because going live, I want it to be a certain way. I've seen enough, watched enough people. I want my lives to be a certain caliber or a certain way. But here's what I realized: it's about the information. It's about the gems that I'm sharing. Am I sharing good information with you guys? Am I sharing stuff that can actually be used, encouragement, provide you help, right? That at the end of the day is the most important part. How God chooses to send the message out, even if there's mistakes or errors, or even if there's technological warfare or this, that, and the third, that's up to Him. What I've learned is through. So, where to start in your new season? I promise you, it's so worth it to just follow God, even when you don't fully understand. If you haven't done so today, I encourage you to surrender to your new season, surrender to the fact that you don't fully understand what it looks like, surrender to the fact um, not having all the pieces before you jump, or before you move, or before you do anything. God is so amazing that even when we're stuck, even when we get to a crossroad, sure where to go, He'll provide the answer. So, like I said, I'm going to ask this question: what's holding you back? If you have not already surrendered to God, I promise you it's worth it. Let me know what's also holding you back. Is it fear? Is it something a loved one said? Or is it something else entirely? Because God, whatever God instructed you to do, especially if you're entering in a new season, I promise you He has the answers along the way of your journey. I promise you He has the answers along the way of the path that He wants you to go. Ask me how I know. He's done that for me. And I like to have a plan. I like to have a blueprint. I like to know which way I'm going when I get there. Like a GPS. I like to know the directions. I like to know how long and how many miles. I like to have all those answers. But for many of us, what it looks like is, for those who drive at night and your headlights only show you but so far, that's what entering a new season is like. You only see but so far in the road. But let me ask you something. Do you trust that they're still there? I've had to learn to trust. that even when starting a new season, God is in the midst, that the road and the path is still there. So, like I said, my one gem tonight, I'm going to say it one more time. You must be willing to follow God even when you don't fully understand. So, guys, I just want to thank you for joining me. Thank you to anybody who's watching the replay. Thank you to anybody who's this live. I am so grateful for you all. Like I said, I really, really hope that this gem has been a blessing to you, that you can go and receive more gems just like this one. Become a part of the Fruitful Gems family to know when we're going live, to know when we have new blog posts or even podcast episodes by going to www.fruitfulgems.com. We look forward to having you. We look forward to sharing with you more words of and all the people as well. Now, guys, like I said, I plan on doing this next week live as well. So join me next week, Thursday night, 8 p.m. We're going to do this again. And I have a new topic. The topic that's been on God's heart was about new seasons. So we're going to talk new seasons. I have different points and different topics. Join me next week live. Like